Just fucking do it. Subscribe now.
Forevermore, he'll be a pig farmer to me, whether he's a good farmer or not, in 26 days. That was the 26th day from the seminar. And everybody in the class that was there, because I was able to come back, because that call was in the morning, so I got a message from him outlining the deal, and he wanted to know if he should change it. I said, no, that's good enough. Even though I preach good is the enemy of great. But anyway, that deal was good enough. And that's how simple it is. We had a guy sitting right there where this lazy Dutchman was sitting. And he put his elbows on the table like this. And he pressed the button on the mic. And he said, I guess he just went and did it. Didn't he, Mr. Peña? As if to say, and I know I can't. When our 12-year-old daughter went to the seminar 23 years ago, she came out and said, gee, Daddy, it's like you said, it's easy peasy. Intellectually easy program. Emotionally, exceptionally difficult. Intellectually easy. Emotionally, terribly hard. Comments about the pig fucker? Questions? Yes, sir.
My question would be, how could he be so sure that every member of his board...
Because he's got balls! Jeez, what the fuck's wrong with you? I know Austrians are cunts. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because he's got a pair of sacks. He doesn't squat there. He was positive. He assumed, if you're a world-class salesman like I am, you assume the close. You assume the fucking sale. Not like this dipshit. You assume the sale. You don't think about, what if he says this? What if he says that? You don't take no for an answer. And this is why nobody can get, I'm not talking about rape, but this is why you can't get your dick wet anymore. You go to any power sales courses, and there's, I don't know if there's any around, you assume from the time you leave your hotel room, 3 or 4 days before that, you're assuming the sale is going to close. You've already added it to your numbers. You've already put your balls on the wall to your supervisor and your manager. Let's say you sold $1.3 million. I'll have $2.5 million by the end of the week. And that $2.5 million is the deal, that the $1.2 million deal you're just about to close. Do you think Muhammad Ali was talking shit before he was great? When he was Cassius, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. For those of you old enough. I've been talking positive shit since I'm 7, 8, 9 years old. But my father was a superhero. Unlike whatever dipshit your father was. There's more to having kids than sticking your dick in a flabby old snatch and conceiving something. The Spartans put all the babies, less than 7 years old, that weren't fit in a pit and let them die. Well, none of you be here. Most of the people that attend this seminar should have rolled down their fat mama's leg and been one of the 400,000 that didn't make it. What value have you added to the world? None. And that's why, as soon as you walk into that first board meeting, the other 8 or 9 or 10 guys and gals are going to see clearly, what the fuck is this cunt doing here? It will take them about 1/1,000,000th of a microsecond. But we show you how to get around that. First of all, you don't meet them until you got, like Pavlov's dog, you got some food for them first. And hope that they don't chop your hand off. But we go through all that. He assumed the close. It's called power closing. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody's teaching it anymore. Back in the 70s, 70s and 80s, they had such courses. They don't anymore. Because now they're considered politically offensive. I attended a thing called EST back in the 70s, where they locked you in a big room like this, and they locked all the doors. You couldn't go out and take a shit, a piss, or you couldn't bathe or anything like that. And they kept you in there till they broke everybody down, crying and shit like that. You shit in the corner, you pissed in the corner. I didn't cry. I found a nice little place to shit. You didn't get your money back. It ain't, it's assuming the clothes. And guess what? Now, how many have kids? It's too bad. Anyway, starters. Okay. And even though you tell your kids there's no favorites, I know everybody's got a favorite kid, and you're a lying piece of shit if you say any different. And when they grow up and they're adults like mine, they tell you you're a lying piece of shit. Okay? Now, if I took the kid that's your fave, and I put a gun in its mouth here like this is the little shit. Okay? You got kids. Okay? So I'm going to blow the little fucker's head off. You've got 2 days to do such and such, or I'm going to kill it. Closing ratios go up dramatically. You will find nuts that you didn't think you had. You follow me? The logic? Okay, now, you know how when you look at buildings like a Parliament right now has scaffolding on the sides because they're trying to make it look pretty, the old building, because it's renovated. And they have 2 by 12 boards on scaffolding, 2 inches thick, 12 inches wide. And if I put a 2 by 12 here, which we used to do, and I put $100 or £100 notes down there, most of you in this room, even the feeble fat tubs of shit, could walk up and down the scaffolding and pick up £100 notes all day long. Okay. Now I put it 10 stories up. Oh, fuck, I don't need that money that bad. A few of you would crawl. Okay? I have data to show you the people that crawl fall off more than the people that walk. But that's a whole other story. Okay, now, I put your wife, your significant other, 10 stories up, and I got gasoline I'm going to pour over her with a match like this. If anybody in this room crawled across it, I'd be surprised. Because you can always get another fucking slag. But I put your favorite kid over there. You're going to do almost anything possible to save the kid. So we have levels of sacrifice. Pay price to action. So far, nobody has enticed you, I'll use that word, with something that you want bad enough that you're willing to put your balls on the line. I'm not talking about your financial balls, because other than 1 or 2 of you in here, you got no money. I'm talking about your emotional balls. Carlings and the pig fucker. Okay. And I'm sure that the First Minister of Northern Ireland would like somebody else to be put forth as the business person of the year for Northern Ireland. But I would put him forward as a business person of the year. He doesn't fit the mold vis-a-vis what he looks like. He doesn't fit the mold vis-a-vis being articulate. But he fits the mold for pulling the fucking trigger, taking action. And at the end of the day, that's all that counts. Most people in this room would not say shit if it was in their mouth. And how's it worked out for you? It hasn't, has it? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. When you think the state of the human race is that you got to come here and pay 35 or 40 grand to listen to an old fucking psychopath berate you, humiliate you, demean you, I'm telling you, it's over. If I'm the only motherfucking choice you've got, you're fucked. If some of you still won't do it. Ergo, must mean you don't want it bad enough. The oldest success story we've had in the seminar in 29 years is 77 years old. The youngest is 13 years old. But there is no age limit. And I know people that are older than 77 that have used the program, they just haven't been here. We've had people in iron lungs do deals with a QLA model. From an iron lung, they recruited their board. Close it from an iron motherfucking lung. Everybody know what an iron lung is? But you're going to think about it. You're going to spreadsheet it. Comments about the goat farmer. Yes, sir, in the back.
He's very enthusiastic. He sets the standards and he uses his board.
Correct. All the above. And the truth of the matter is, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging way, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And something I'm going to tell you now, if you've listened to any amount of my stuff on YouTube, 60-70% of the people that are successful don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just following the steps religiously like it was the tablets that Moses brought down from the mount. They're not questioning it, they're just doing it. They've trained, they went to Toastmasters, they've taped their presentations, they filmed their presentations. Training, practice. I practice more than an hour. For every hour I'm going to be before you, I practiced more than an hour before you got here. And I could give this motherfucking seminar in a fucking coma. Practice. When you hear Andres Milner in a couple days, practice. When you hear all the rest of the people, practice. Do what Mr. Peña says, follow the steps, practice, do what Peña says, practice. Follow him like it's the word of God. But I could give some webinars, not like the pig fucker, but webinars from now till Christmas. Every day, 2 or 3 a day, no repeats. That's how many webinars we have. But we have a challenge the last year or two. As he said, fuck the rest of the people, right? We have less and less people wanting to assist you by assisting me with webinars now. They don't care. Because now, in their minds, they're wrong. There's so many people out there, they consider you competition. So why would you assist your competition? Only in Disney movies do you assist your competition. So at some juncture, hopefully before I hang up my spikes, I won't run out of kids. You know, I don't want to give you webinars from 2013, you know, with one exception, all the webinars are from this year, and there's 2 from last year, his and one other. Because we want to show you current day in the trenches. Questions or comments about anything else about the goat farmer? Yes, sir.
He's not educated, I think.
What?
And he didn't go to uni or stuff, and he's certain about what he is going to do. So, simple as.
Fuck, he just got out of jail. What do you mean went to uni? I mean, believe me, those of you that have half-ass educations, and there's nobody in this room other than one, that their education is anything other than half-assed, or half-arsed, as they say in this country, doesn't mean anything. Well, I mean, what has it done for you so far? I'll look at it the other way. Nothing. You can have 50 people. You're still losers. Pleasers. You rather be liked than effective. Don't you fucking get it? How many fucking times do I have to scream it? And why? Your parents they might, if you weren't physically assaulted by them, they might as well have physically assaulted you. Because it has the same effect. And certain ethnicities, it's worse. And we don't have, yes, sir.
How many deals has he closed since after that first?
3 that I'm aware of, but he's not great on communication because it's not true. He can't write. When I show this webinar later on in the year, I'm going to say he can't read or write. It's not true. Or I don't know. I'm pretty sure he filled out his own paperwork. I'm not positive about that. But he certainly doesn't mind engaging in self-deprecation. But when you assume, it's like the All Blacks in rugby. I didn't understand the mentality of the All Blacks. They assume winning all the time. They don't win all the time, but they win almost all the time. And they overpower the opponent with that bullshit, okay? And there's been sporting dynasties over the years in America, in football and college football, pro in college, and baseball, etc., and basketball. They overpower the other side with the assumption, the natural assumption that they're going to win and they're going to close. I mean, I can't remember the last time. I did remember now. I was thinking about the last time I lost. I got my teeth kicked in. It was a hostile takeover I lost against Booker PLC about 17 years ago. So I had to think back the last time I got my teeth handed to me. I had to do some research. But I mean, when people bring shit to me, it's because they assume I'm going to get it done successfully. And I rarely let them down. I.e., the sovereign fund, blah, 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 blah. And then when winning or success begets success. And when winning, becomes your default. Not losing, but when winning is your default, then you rarely lose. And I can tell, I knew Jobs, I don't know Leon, and I don't know Bill Gates and these guys personally, but I know guys that are in that same ilk, and they just assume that they're, Elon, if he doesn't, I read an article at lunchtime that if he doesn't go through with a Twitter, he could do jail time. I don't think he gives a shit. I'm sure he's going to go to a jail, different kind of jail than you're going to go to. For sure. I don't think he gives a shit. Probably be good for Tesla stock. And Sally and I, full disclosure, ordered a Tesla. That one that they hit with a sledgehammer and couldn't break the windows. We ordered one of those. I asked Sally yesterday, when are we going to get it? They're, 11 years behind, or some bullshit anyway. But I was going to do the sledgehammer thing myself out in front of the pavilion out here. Then I thought about it. I'm going to run over it with a tank. It's only 50 grand or something, or some chicken shit amount of money. Now, see, the difference is, 50 grand is not a chicken shit amount of money to most of you in this room. I had a kid in my neighborhood who was from another hood about 3 miles over, which was inundated with Chinese. This guy named Pat Wong. And he taught me how to play cards. And see ants fuck $1. When he's betting, I would see ants fuck for $1. Ants fuck $1, Danny. Ants fuck $1. Ants, and then we continue to play cards. And then I I was a named player in Vegas. I had a card carrying, I used to be a big gambler. And fuck, $5 million. And he said, and then they said, God, Mr. P, you sound just like a guy named. And so I was all happy because he was a big time gambler. He's dead now. Somebody put a bullet in his head. Most of my contemporaries are either dead, have dementia, or in jail. Those are the three categories. Anything else about the goat farmer? Yes, sir.
His belief is more powerful than the facts?
That's one way of looking at it. Well, he makes the facts his belief become the facts. I understand that. I've done it, not hundreds of times, but at least 100 times. At least 100, probably more. And all those times that you turn disbelief into belief doesn't mean you're going to make $1 jillion. But without all those many successes against the grain, make the big successes happen. Make them happen. But I mean, I can't imagine being involved in something that I don't win. And it all started with getting laid. Sexual transmutation. God loved me, my good looks back when I was a kid. My mother told me when I was about 17, good looks can be a gift or a hindrance, Danny. Your grandmother and I, which is her mother and I, are praying that it's not a hindrance. Of course, at that time, I'm running around with a heart on almost all the time. I didn't need fucking Viagra or any of that shit. They didn't have that then. I still pole vault to the bathroom every morning. I'll be 77 in a few days. Do you understand what that means? You can't beat good genes. I didn't know how important that was until the last 5 or 10 years. 3 or 4 years ago, the last time I shared my testosterone levels with YouTube, my testosterone, the gurus, the health gurus, okay, a couple of you think you're healthy. They say that the male testosterone peaks out at 26 unless you enhance it. But if you're in your 30s or early 40s, it should be between 400 and 800, the testosterone level. The last time I shared it, mine was 1,800. And I've had as high as 2,500. I can barely come out of my bedroom when it's at that level. So we all have different challenges. And you can't even get your dick wet. When I sit around with my buddies, which most of them are dead now, a few years ago at somebody's 75th birthday, we were talking about how in the brawless times and everybody wants to fuck and suck dick and Woodstock, the good old days. And we're laughing around. We just come from a funeral, unfortunately. And it's amazing. One of the guys says, my grandson can't get laid. And this his grandson's a good-looking guy. And we just were laughing about things that we have experienced in our youth. And I said, and that's part of the demise. In Roman times, if I liked your wife, I just took her and cut your head off, and I'm not suggesting you do that. But we're a long fucking way from that. There was a movie 20 years ago where a guy paid $1 million to sleep with a guy's wife. I forget the name of it now. Pardon? Indecent Proposal. I love that fucking movie. I said, is that all it costs? I mean, fuck. I got 20, 30 people that I'd like to fuck their wives. I mean, I can do that tomorrow. Sally didn't think it was so funny. Metaphorically speaking, honey. Just metaphorically speaking. I mean, theoretically. Of course, not for real. I'm happy as Larry right now. But when I heard that 1 million, I said, Jesus, is that all it costs for some guy to sell his wife? I made a list. Oh, I could get his wife for 50 grand. Forget the million. But see, you guys don't even think. See, one of my Hall of Famers said, Mr. Peña says things we don't dare to say to ourselves, you know. But all the big guys, okay, YouTube, thank you.